I am an old woman now. My hair is white and my hands are weak. I sit by the window every day watching the trees outside. The wind gently moves the leaves, and memories from my past return like waves. Some make me smile. Others bring tears. I had a husband. His name was James. He was kind, strong, and had a smile that could light up the darkest days. We had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. James worked hard every day to give us a good life. I stayed at home, cooked meals, helped the children with schoolwork, and tried to fill our home with warmth and love. Years passed. The children grew up, went to school, made friends, and spent less time with us. I understood they needed to discover the world on their own. But it still made me sad. James would always reassure me, saying, "They'll come back. They love us." And I believed him. One day James became sick. He stayed in bed for weeks. I took care of him, made his favorite meals, told him stories to make him laugh. But he was too weak. One night he looked at me and said, "Take care of the children. They need you." Then he closed his eyes and never opened them again. My heart shattered. The house became silent, heavy with loneliness. I hoped the children would stay close to fill the silence. But they were busy with their lives. They visited less and less. One day they sat with me and said, "You can't stay alone, Mom. It's better for you to live in a home for old people." I wanted to say no. I wanted to scream. But I saw no other choice. He nodded. Now I sit here alone. The days are long, the nights colder. I think of James and the life we shared. I ask myself, did I fail as a mother? Did I do something wrong? But there are no answers. Only silence. This place is called the Golden Years Home. It's clean and quiet. Other old people live here too. Some talk to me. Most of the time I sit alone. The nurses are kind but always busy. They bring food, medicine, and sometimes offer a gentle smile. Every morning I wake early and sit by the window to watch the sunrise. The sky paints itself with colors, and for a brief moment I feel peace. Then the emptiness returns. I think of my children. Where are they? Are they happy? Do they think of me? I remember holding them as babies, playing in the park, reading bedtime stories. I helped with homework, wiped tears, and gave them all my love. My hands were always tired, but my heart was full. Now they call me sometimes. Their voices are hurried. "How are you, Mom?" they ask. Before I can finish answering, they say, "We're busy. Take care. Understand. Life is hard. But still I wish they'd visit more." One day a nurse gave me a notebook. "Write your memories," she said. "It'll help." At first my hands shook as I held the pen. But soon the words began to flow. I wrote about James, his laughter, his gentle voice. I wrote about my children, their first steps, their bright smiles. That notebook became my closest friend. I write in it every night before bed. Feels like talking to someone, sharing love and pain. I hope maybe one day my children will read it. That they'll understand how deeply I love them. But sometimes I wonder, will they ever read it? Or have they already forgotten me? The days here all look the same. Breakfast at 8, lunch at 12, dinner at 6. Between meals, I sit in the garden or by the window. The garden has roses, daisies, and tulips. Birds come and go. They sing, they fly. And I wonder, do they feel joy or loneliness like I do? One afternoon, a young boy came with one of the nurses. He smiled at me and said, "Hi, Grandma." His smile reminded me of my youngest son. He asked, "Do you have any stories?" I nodded and told him about my childhood. Green fields, a quiet village, the river we used to swim in. As I spoke, his eyes lit up. And for a moment I felt alive again. After he left, I felt a strange mix of joy and sadness. I wondered, do my grandchildren know about me? Do they know how much I want to hold them? To tell them stories too? One evening I asked to call my eldest son. The nurse handed me the phone. I dialed with trembling hands. He picked up. "Hi, Mom," he said. His voice was distant. I told him I missed him. I asked if he'd come visit. "I'll try soon," he said. But his words felt hollow, like a promise already broken. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, thinking of James. He would have known what to do. He always brought the family together. Without him, everything feels scattered. I hugged the notebook close. "James," I whispered, "if you can hear me, tell our children I'm still here. Still waiting." The tears came freely. Days turned into weeks. Every afternoon I watched for cars. Each engine sound made my heart leap. But it was never for me. Another resident's family. Delivery. Never mine. Still, a small flame of hope remained. One day I began writing letters. One to each of my children. To my eldest son, I wrote about the quiet days, about the times I held his tiny hand. To my daughter, I described her sweet singing in the kitchen. How proud I was when she graduated. "You are my sunshine," I reminded her. To my youngest, I wrote about our fishing trips. His laughter. His bright spirit. When I was done, I gave the letters to the nurse. "Of course, Mrs. Carter," she said kindly. "I'll send them right away." For the first time in a long while I felt a spark of hope. Later I sat in the garden. The air smelled like spring. I closed my eyes and imagined my children reading the letters. Would they feel something? Would they remember me? Days passed. No reply. Until one morning, the nurse entered with a smile. "Mrs. Carter," she said, "you have mail." My heart raced. It was from my eldest son. I opened the letter with shaking hands. He apologized. He told me about his busy life. He said he often thought about me. He promised to visit. He even said he'd bring the children. My grandchildren. Tears fell from my eyes. Relief, longing, hope. I read the letter over and over. "See," the nurse said, smiling. "They do care." Smile too. Maybe they do. Maybe he will come. I told everyone. "My son is visiting soon." They nodded with warm smiles. Days passed. Then weeks. I still sit by the window. Still waiting. Still hoping.